again and welcome to Apple Tree Cottage here in the Scottish Borders. It's lovely to see you again. This is Tuesday the 30th of September 2025, so we're right at the end of September. My goodness, it will soon be Christmas. That's what we always say at this time of year, I think. So what have I been doing in the month of September? Actually, when I was gathering things together for this episode, I actually surprised myself at how much I actually do have on the go. And so let's go with the first one. This is one that I am enjoying. It's a Rose Cottage Pin Keep by Stacey Nash, and I am stitching it on 32 count Confederate grey by Weeks Dye Works, which is a lovely loose linen and a really lovely colour to be stitching on with the DMC. And I have taken the liberty with the design to add that shaker saying hands to work, hearts to God, which I really love. And I have replaced an alphabet with those words. The other thing that I was doing was the outside border, which I have now completed. And I'm working in DMC, did I say that? And we're making progress. I'll just show you the alphabet that I've been replacing there. And there are some motifs actually. There's a little basket there and some initials. But I will be keeping the numerals in the middle, I think anyway. We'll see, maybe I'll change my mind. Anyway, a very enjoyable one. It's 8 inches square, which is just a lovely size. I don't think I'll be framing it though. Now, the next one is by Blackbird, Merrily, Merrily We Welcome the Spring. And I did start this in the spring, and perhaps I should have laid it aside, but I wasn't really enjoying it. So if I'd laid it aside, I might never have picked it up again. So I do still have it on my list, and I have been continuing to work on the alphabet in the middle, that strong blue. I'm really enjoying working with that strong blue. And you can see I've done a reasonable amount, and it's just slowly catch your monkey, as they say, and one day it will be complete. So that is being stitched on Picture This Plus 36 count oaken, and I'm using mostly the threads that are called for, which are mostly Weeks Dye Works. There's a couple of classic colour works and gentle art, so it's a bit of a mix of threads there. Now, the next one is one that I actually have been focusing on this month. Couldn't put it down, couldn't wait to get it, came very quickly, and I'm absolutely loving it. But I'm changing it from the original. Now, I saw it on Nicole's needlework, lovely Nicole Neville, who produces such inspiring work. And it's Sarah Redfern, 1826. She recently, Nicole recently showed us her framed finish, and that was when I said, oh, I have to get this. So it came very quickly in the post, and then of course that was the one that I started. Now, I couldn't get the linen, I couldn't obtain the linen that was asked for, and so I thought, well, I'll change the colorway, because I think this colorway is working really because of the colour of linen that it's stitched on, which is a pinkish peachy. And the linen that I do work with quite a lot is Zweigart Antique White, and so I went with that, and I decided to make the colour palette very bright with a great variety of red, certainly in, I think it's honeysuckle that's around the borders, absolutely gorgeous. And each one of these flowers is a different red, so I'm really playing with the reds. Now, they're mostly DMC, but I'll show you later. There was another one that I actually had to get. I saw it on Carol Saltbox Stitcher, and so I got that thread. I'll show you in a minute. Another red. And there's quite a challenge to be mixing those pinks and reds so that they will pop out, you know, that one doesn't destroy the other. And I'm making the inner border there actually blue. So quite strong colours, mostly DMC, and absolutely loving it. I can't put it down actually. But I have been putting it down to a certain extent because I've really been getting on with another one I love, Come Into My Garden, another blackbird design one. And what have I done? I have the outline of this bird here. I've completed another of the side motifs. The basket is absolutely complete now. And I think I had another motif done over here as well. And I finished the house. So here it is. And it will end up being stunning when I finally frame it. Just gorgeous. Everyone seems to love doing it, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful piece. I'm stitching it on 36 count vintage country mocha, and on the pattern side, on the mottled side, but I am following all of the threads absolutely religiously, and all of the design. And what else can I say about this? Yes, I'm working really, I did get most of the outside border done, certainly the skeleton, and then I worked down from the top. And so you can see, now that I've finished the house, I will be doing another flower motif, and that bird I will fill in, and that will be that line done. And then I'll be down to that lowest of the side motifs, and I'll finish this side motif, that one there in the little garden. And then there are just a couple of flower motifs to do at the bottom that are sort of tulips, and then we're into the actual floral frame. So where are we? I'll be finishing the bird, putting in those two flowers, and I think that one has to be done. And then just one of these side motifs, and that's then ready for that frame and whatever I put here. Now, when people are discussing this, there seems sometimes to be a bit of a quandary about what they're actually going to put in here. Barb Adams, who designed this, put her name and the date, which was 2019. I have a feeling I might put my grandmother, her name in there. I think that would be really lovely. So that's another absolutely beautiful sampler that I'm working on. And now that I've started and I've collected everything, I've realised I've actually left another one upstairs. So yes, I really do have more than I thought. So I'll have to dash up and get that. In the meantime, I will show you the other one, Dutch Beauty, and this is the bag that I made for it, the work bag. I'm so glad I stopped and made these work bags for the big works, because it just makes all the difference when it comes to actually not only being organized but actually enjoying stitching them. I'm somebody who is what they call creative, but at the same time I really love order, and I feel more relaxed once I am ordered, organized, ordered. So what did I do on Dutch Beauty? I did the little lady. She took longer than I thought, actually, filling in her dress and all the rest of it. But there she is. And you think, oh, well, that's almost finished, isn't it? Well, not when you actually see Dutch Beauty. It's a fabulous, fabulous Dutch sampler. And you can see here where the little lady is, where she's tiny. She's way, 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 way up there. Look, there she is there. She's absolutely midget, and look how much I've got to do. So I think this is maybe one of my 5-year plans. If you've been following me, you'll know that I've just got larger and larger and larger. Well, Sarah Red Fern isn't particularly large. I think it's 12-inch square. But I have my family sampler, which is enormous. I have Sheep May Safely Graze, which is enormous. This one's vast. And I also have the red ribbon, which I will go upstairs and get just now and come down and show you. But I'm thinking, working them out, it will be it'll be 5 years. There's my Casper. I'll see you in a minute. So here we are back again, and Casper has had his tea and a cuddle, and so now I can show you the progress on Red Ribbon Sampler from Palm. Now, what is it again? I'll tell you in a minute. I'm just loving doing this. It really is just my single red thread a day sampler, though I'm not absolutely religiously sticking to that. It's sometimes no mornings, and then others it's 2 or even 3. So it's Rhapsody in Red sampler, and it is by, I just had that. That's it there. It's fabulous, absolutely fabulous. I've got sort of that done-ish. Sampler Cove. Sampler Cove, and it uses 2 colours of Gloriana silk thread, which I absolutely adore, and that is cranberry and crimson. And because you're using 2 colours of red, just that colour change gives the whole thing greater life. Again, I'm using a white, and I think this might be 50 count. I think it's Kingston, 56 count. There's my little trial shot, and this is as far as I've reached. So this corner here and continuing along the top. There I've done a little bit of border along the bottom there, and it's coming along. It's coming along, and this will be another one of my 5-year plan samplers. I think this is the work bag that I made for it, and it does not have a pocket in the front for the threads, really, because the silks, there are only 2 colours, so they're, you know, it's much easier to discern which colour. But I have made, as I usually do, a matching needle case. I just love to be organised, and that's the needle case. And then lots of lovely ribbon. I hate sewing in zips, I really do. And so we've got the ribbons there as tires. Now, moving on, as I say, I actually have more done than I thought. For you, but where will I go next? Oh, I'll give you, I think I'll give you my acquisitions next. I said I would talk about a thread for Sarah Red Fern, and this is Weeks Dye Works. It's cotton and it is called Turkish Red, and I overheard Carol Saltbox Stitcher mentioning how wonderful it was, and so I got some, and this is one of the reds I'm using for Sarah Redfern around the honeysuckle border, and it's absolutely beautiful. And I think I obtained that from the Patchwork Rabbit in England, and or I could have had it from Peakside. It may well be Peakside, in which case this other acquisition is from the Patchwork Rabbit, again in England, and she has now stocked Zweigart 35 count Winter Moon, and I just love Winter Moon. I just adore Winter Moon, and so had to get that one. Whether that's for Christmas ornaments or something, I don't know, but there's bound to be something I can be putting that to good use. Now, the next thing is, let's do my quilt and then we'll finish with knitting. Okay, so as you may know, the last episode 39, my daughter and I, well, my daughter really, made her very first quilt, and she's not really into crafts at all, but she wanted to try her hand at a crazy patchwork quilt, and she did a thoroughly good job. And I already had this quilt. Now, I had hoped to have it finished. It's the most beautiful Flower Fairies fabric in this gorgeous autumn colours, so it really should have been finished by now. We did have some gorgeous sunny days just in the last week, though September was pretty miserable, and I will put up a film of me scraping the ice off my car windscreen, which happened a couple of weeks ago. That comes at the end, just to tell you that you know, it is getting into winter here. I just adore this. It's velvet. It's called a cachou, and it's Beresford's velvet ribbon. This is the thickest they go to, and I just thought that finished off the quilt absolutely beautifully. Now, I do have the batting, and I have the underside fabric is exactly the same, but I'm just waiting for another 5 meters of the velvet, so that I can have a thick border, so there'll be the same amount of velvet on the back. So I had hoped to have this finished for you, but maybe next time you'll see the actual quilt. My machine is a 1950s, I have two actually, one's 1940s Singer and the next one's 1950s Singer, and I'm not so sure they would cope with quilting, so I'm going to hand tie this quilt, and that should be a very colourful item for Apple Tree Cottage. Now, just moving on quickly, we're just finishing with some knitting. I hadn't realised I had finished 2 sleeves for my walnut wings lace jumper, my own design. I have finished the back and I'm halfway through the front, and it's having blocked them, they've come up absolutely beautifully, so I'm really happy with my sleeves. The pattern is number 166 from the Japanese Knitting Bible, and but the overall design will be mine. And then finally, I'm racing through this. This is the rest of my jumper there. I'm calling it Walnut Wings. Now, my blocking pads, I was given in Christmas, not last year, but the year before, and I've certainly been using them. This is my Shetland neckerchief that I am knitting at the moment, and will probably be a Christmas present for one of my daughters, who will not be watching, so she doesn't know. And this is the traditional Shetland edging. It's 1 ply wool. It's absolutely gorgeous. 1 ply heritage from sorry, let's start again. It is Shetland Supreme 1 ply, and it is from Jameson and Smith, who are in Shetland, as you can see there's the map of Shetland there. And this is in white. This is how it comes. And I have finished the edging, and as I say, I blocked it and I'm just thrilled with it. Here it is, all of the edging. I used, what did I use? I used 3.25 needles, and then this is, and again, this has got to be blocked, but this will be the center panel. Let's do it like that, so as you can see it a bit better. That's the center panel, and I'm sort of 2/3 of the way through this, and then I will attach the edging. And isn't it wonderful? It's just so beautiful. The center panel is from this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful book. Cannot recommend it highly enough. This is the book to go for, because it's really authentic, beautifully laid out. She writes the patterns out as well as giving the charts, which I like. I like a written pattern. And this is this pattern is 3.3 lace, whole, plain and bead diamonds with branch, which sounds terribly boring, and it absolutely isn't, is it? It's just, is that the one I'm doing? Wait a minute, am I doing 3.4? No, that is the one I'm doing. So and it has 47 rows in one panel, and so I've done double that, and I'll do triple that. And then there will be the hopefully most beautiful Shetland neckerchief. And I will show you it blocked. I'll probably put a photograph of that on Instagram. You can't really see this wonderful pattern until you've actually blocked it, and you can't block it till you finished it. Okay, so we're going to finish up with just a few photographs at the end of the other things I've been doing. Scraping ice off the windscreen, baking bread and biscuits. And I've been having a good time this September, I really have. And hopefully that'll all happen into October. Really have to start thinking about Christmas, my goodness me. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. Thank you so much for watching, and see you again soon. Bye bye.